Here come the hot stepper.
Warning: swearing may be used on this stream cause we're grown. If you are easily offended, tighten up. Content provided on this stream is intended for entertainment purposes only. It should not be construed as legal or medical advice, and should not be relied upon or acted upon, without retaining proper counsel. RedBull owners. With that mouthful being said, buckle up.
Hey, good evening. What's up, everyone? Welcome to FTC Chats. I am your host, Tanya Vital. I am a UK actor and content creator turned live streamer. And this is FTC Chats, is basically an interview-based show where we highlight and showcase entertainment industry professionals from the north of the UK. Why do we need to do that? Because we are heavily underrepresented, particularly marginalised artists, meaning black and brown artists, disabled artists, LGBTQ plus artists. So we've created FTC Chats so that we can create a community, talk about experiences, show off a little bit, because why the fuck not, and all that kind of stuff. Just before we start, you may notice in the top right hand corner we have a little Black Panther icon. We are starting to raise money for Prostate Cancer UK, in loving memory of the late Chadwick Boseman, who played Black Panther, who recently passed away due to colon cancer. Chadwick had been struggling with colon cancer for 4 years. Hey, Frustrated Geek, welcome. So we are raising money, starting now to give towards Prostate Cancer UK. So if you can give, please do. I know money's tight for everybody right now. There will be a link in the chat if you can. If you can't, I completely understand. But tonight we are joined by another Bradfordian, Pish Modaressi. I hope I pronounced your name right, Pish. His biography sounds like this, so let me read his biography. Hi world, my name is Pish Dad, but you can call me Pish. Smooth. I'm a young filmmaker and producer who is bringing a brand new approach to the video industry with my hunger for knowledge as I travel the world. From working with various companies and talented individuals in Portugal, Malta, France, Germany, Belgium, Tanzania, Croatia, Italy, as well as the UK itself, I've been able to build my portfolio and develop my skills as a filmmaker. My craftsmanship is my passion, and I constantly upskill my ability and mindset to create fast, high-quality content. My main focus is to help my clients grow and make their visions come to life by implementing videos into their structure. So welcome, Pish, and welcome, Bradford Fringe. Thank you so much for following. Welcome, Pish. What's up? How you doing, man?
How's it going?
Yeah, good.
Thanks for having me.
We've been talking about this for so long. I've been busy, you've been busy, but finally we got together and put our heads together. So let's just give the audience a little bit of background on who you are and what you do. So you're a filmmaker, but let me just mention this before I say this, right? So I am always super impressed by anyone who can forge a career in the arts industry coming from Bradford. For people that don't know what Bradford is like, where we're from, it's a very underfunded, kind of very poor area, and it's tough, you know. I don't want to start singing, you know, Hard Knock Life, but pretty much, and it's very difficult for anybody to be able to kind of pursue their dream, really, and forge a creative career. So anybody that does that, I'm always like, yes, man. So tell us a bit about your creative history.
So I was actually born and raised in Germany. So I came here 8 years ago. I came from Cologne. I was around 16 when I came. Did my sixth form here, went straight into film school, skipped most of my lectures because I was getting hired to do music videos. So in my last year, I didn't actually even attend. I think I attended the beginning ones, you know, when you have to do the induction.
Mm-hmm.
But most of it, I was on shoots for the local creative scene in Leeds. Back then, they had a really poppin' music scene going on in terms of hip hop. Hopefully they still do after this lockdown. But yeah, and then when I finished uni, I was straight still into this whole music video scene.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout uni, I was flying like to Germany to meet my cousin, who is really passionate about documentaries. And that was like where I started doing my documentaries. So I had documentaries on one side, music videos locally in Leeds. and obviously my own personal film projects going on, like short films. And then once I finished uni, I was like, okay, let's make some money as well. And that's when the corporate videos kind of kicked in properly.
Hey Flexgar, welcome to the stream, man. So Flexgar's asking, which film school did you go to? He says Bradford. This is a funny bone of contention for me, really, because we are known as Bradford, the city of film, yet we have no film courses anymore. They've all gone. So so which film school did you go to?
I went to the one in Leeds called the Northern Film School.
Shout out to Northern Film School, and loads of teachers at that school.
Do you? Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that because I was thinking back then, why is there no film course in Bradford? But I think they don't want to compete with the Leeds Film School.
Well, we used to before. This is taking us down a tangent, but please let me explain it, audience. Just chill with us, all right? Chill with us. So before, I guess privatization and academies became a thing. The university in Bradford did have loads of film courses, like production courses. They've still got like film studios in the university, but then academies and like specialization became a thing, and then Bradford Uni kind of decided to specialize in science. All the film stuff kind of went to Leeds. Flexgar's saying I chose UCLAN for film school over Leeds. I have no idea. You pronounce it UCLan, don't you? I don't know why I just pronounced it weird.
Is that UK still, or is that where's that?
You're asking me. Flexgar, where's UCLAN? I'm assuming it's. I don't want to assume. Don't want to assume. Tell us where it is. So on your website it says, as a filmmaker, I'm very attracted to stories which have a positive impact on the world. Every month or so, I go out and find a story like this, and I try to do my best as a visual artist and storyteller to capture it and share it. One of my questions to you is, Lancashire is saying Lancashire, wrong side at Pennines. Okay. Wrong side at Pennines. I'm joking.
Sorry.
As a filmmaker, do you feel like you've got like because I've looked at a lot of your stuff and on your website, do you feel like that you have a moral obligation to kind of share positive stories? Like what is it about not that what am I asking? Not that you should share negative stories, but your particular style is very kind of like people's lives in a positive way. Do you know what I mean? Am I explaining myself properly?
It makes sense in terms of, I don't know if there's an obligation for any artist to do anything like that, but I feel like based on where I live, based on the people that are around me, who want to, put Bradford on the map, like properly, the way it should be represented. I guess in the beginning it was like counteracting negative press that our city sometimes get. So I was like, okay, you can make content, but watch me, I can make content too. So it's like a battle kind of. In that sense.
Welcome, Guts. I don't know. I'm pronouncing it right. Gutswick. Welcome to the stream. That's the question I was asking, but I didn't want to lead you down that path. I wanted you to say in your own words. So as an artist from like effectively one of the dumps of the UK, that's how our cities treat often in the press. I also find it very hard trying to battle against that negative image of Bradford, and that's probably one of the reasons I actually became an actor, to tell our stories that aren't negative, and definitely one of the reasons that I created this channel so that we can kind of change that and just balance it out a bit more. Like, yes, there are some shitty things about our city. What city doesn't have shitty things? But we also have amazing things.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I realized throughout this lockdown. Like, I started filming more locally, and some of the things we have in our city, people don't have in their own city. We have so much value here, creatively, what we can do, what we are doing, that, now I'm inviting musicians I used to work with in Leeds and Manchester. I'm telling them now, come to Bradford. I'll make you a better video in Bradford.
Yeah.
You don't have the things that we have in Manchester. You don't have these things in Leeds.
Right.
You got to come here for this stuff.
Yeah, like little things like landscape. Like I always make a joke that people think we live with sheep. No, we don't. But like 20-minute drive, and you can get some good sheep. You know, you can get some like
some
pennines and some nice views, and you know, like whatever you want, you can get it. We were in a 20-minute, 30-minute drive. Absolutely. I'm just going to show the audience some slides from your website just to give like a bit of context to, because you know in your biography it says you've travelled here, there, and everywhere, and I just want to show people what we're actually talking about.
Awesome.
Okay, so you might be able to see on your second device, Pish. There's a couple of here. Here is the hot stepper himself. I don't know what country he's in, but he looks like he should be in GQ magazine in this picture. Also a GQ shot. You would never know that he was the director sitting next to. Sitting next to his creative subject. It looks like it's the other way around. Pish looks like he needs his Winnebago ASAP.
I do.
There's one here, and we've got Ken. I'm assuming this is Kenya, right? It looks like a Maasai. Tanzania.
Yeah.
And we've got one Sustainable Development Goals Action Campaign. Again, looking fresh to death in his suit, ready for his GQ mag
thank you.
photo shoot. So tell us about some of those projects from those pictures.
So the first one you saw, that was Portugal. That was with my big bro Jay Cass, who's a hip-hop artist from Sheffield, and we went to Portugal. Yeah, he's very good. He's very good. He's been in the game for a long time. He was in the group No Excuse back in the day as well, which was quite big in the UK. But we actually met on the airport in Manchester when we were both going to Portugal for the first time. And since then we've been back. Like before lockdown, we were going back there every 2-3 months for a week or two, just to create more music videos.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it's cheap flights, 20 quid.
Okay. 20 quid? Shit.
20 quid, yeah. So it's cheap as chips. You can fly there, it's cheaper there than London. Spend a few days there, get the sunshine, get the palm trees, get some good visuals, come back, edit, videos done, need more videos, fly back. And the Portuguese people in the hip-hop scene there are very welcoming. They like the sound that J-Cast brings. And in terms of like the hip hop scene, they're also like 20 years a bit behind. So they're still in the
90s, the best
era. Still like the boom bap, old school style. So it's weird. They like the modern as well. Like there's a big grime influence in Portugal now from the UK. So they love Stormzy, but they also love like Redman and the Wu-Tang Clan. So that's a weird sound.
Okay, yeah.
That's
great artist.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's the Portugal. Tanzania, I went to make a short film last year. So I spent a month out there, and the short film should be hopefully finished soon. We had some trouble because of the lockdown. I wasn't able to go to the studio to color grade it, but we're getting there now. The Germany one, I was born there, so...
Is that the one where you're in a suit looking like James Bond?
That's the one. If James Bond had a beard and was Asian.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my cousin actually works opposite the UN building, and he told me, the UN doing a big conference.
So you just wait a minute. So you're not even involved in the conference. You just gate crashed for the picture because you were in a suit.
No, I got involved. I started networking with the people that go to these conferences, and it was like very ethical people that are into saving the planet, saving the world. So that's very inspiring. But I wasn't like in the scene. It was like, it's a free ticket, you can go into the UN. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna check out the UN. Why not?
He gate crashed, guys. I love the hustle. Love the hustle. Bradford. Cash on code. I love that. Is saying Bradford Uni still has an animation, film, and TV production, and they still do all that kind of stuff. Oh, cool. So after you gate crashed the UN, as only a top director would. We're going to talk about how we met, actually. So we met at the RedBull Amapico Film Festival. Just show the audience what that is. And I am not ready. Of course I'm not ready, of course. Where's our window capture? Here we go. So the RedBull Amapico Film Festival. RedBull Amapico is like a branch of the Red Bull Corporation. But the Amapico branch is a global program that champions social entrepreneurs driving positive change in their corner of the world. Development, support, and storytelling form the core of this groundbreaking initiative. Everything you need to get your vision off the ground. So last year, I got involved with RedBull Amapico because they were coming to Bradford to do their first UK launch, I guess you'd call it. And you had to pitch your business idea, basically. And I pitched for culture, this channel, but it wasn't this channel then in my head. It was just an idea. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know. It wasn't a fully formed pitch. It was really bad. Shout out to Uncle Ian, Natalie, and Tamashe, actually. It was terrible, but rather than just say, all right, Tanya, that was terrible, see you later, bye, they said, well, maybe your pitch is not ready, but we want you to present at our film festival. And that is where we met. You had one of your shorts in the film festival. Tell us a bit about what was going on with the film festival. How did RedBull kind of approach you?
So because I know the owner of the building that they were hosting at, he sent me a link to apply over LinkedIn for the whole festival. And I'm like a last minute type of guy, so I left it till last minute. I was at some house party and I remembered, I was like, oh no, I gotta apply for this link. So I quickly pulled out my laptop in the corner of the house party. I was just the weird guy in the corner on the laptop while everyone's
no.
and I'm like trying to fill out this application. And obviously it got rejected because it was a terrible application last minute. But I got a call like 2 weeks later by one of the film festival organizers. And he asked me, hey, do you have a film showing Bradford in a positive light? And I was like, no, I don't, but when do you need it by? He said, oh, can you get one done by the weekend? And I think it was a Wednesday or Thursday. So I was like, yeah, no problem. Let's see what happens. And then I got off the phone with him, and then I contacted some people that I knew in Bradford that do, social enterprise work. And I was like, oh, is there any positive work going on that I can quickly capture? And a friend of mine from a community center on Leeds Road, he told me, yeah, just be at this address at like 10 in the morning. So it was like Saturday. That's when Bradford for Better did like the big cleanup around the city in a few locations. So I would wake up 9:30 a.m. and I'm like, I'm tired. So
it's all about partying.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, yo, I don't know if I'm gonna do this. I'm still in bed. I'm like half tired. And then I got a message from the organizer, and she was like, oh, we're running half an hour late. And I was like, okay, perfect. I can sleep a bit longer and then I can go. If she didn't send that, I don't think I would have done it. It was almost. But yeah, I did it. I went down to the location and I was just filming them doing their thing. And I didn't really know what the organization is, what they do. I was exploring as I was filming. It came together in the edit, quick turnaround. And by the weekend, I sent them the video. I was like, is that okay? And like, yeah, that's okay. You can come along.
This is unreal. I can already tell, Pish, that you're one of those people that, like, do you remember when you were at school, guys, and you, like, I mean, I was not this person, but I can imagine this is what they were like. You know, the person that's conscientious, they do their homework on time, and there you've got Pish walking in last minute, does it in 5 minutes and gets the top grade. And the reason I say this, I'm going to show you his film now, which is called Better for Bradford. This is the reason why me and Pish have stayed in contact, because as soon as I saw this, I was like, holy frigging hell, this is insane for a young filmmaker. So let me show you what I mean first. God. All right, let's bring it up. Bradford for better. Here we go.
I try to change the way I see the world around me, but every time I end up where I begin.
We're here today to clean up the streets of Bradford.
Always do my part. I try to make it stay.
We're out here with the kids to show that it's not just about learning the Quran, learning Arabic, it's actually giving back to the community.
The Prophet has always taught us that half our faith is about cleanliness. That means all type of cleanliness, personal hygiene, as well as helping the community. We want to teach them that it's about being out there, being active in the community, and always helping when they can.
The inspiration behind Bradford for Better was born out of frustration after seeing littered streets, drug dealing in broad daylight, dangerous driving. I just wanted to find out if anyone else felt the same as I did.
Myself and I and a couple of other people first met in Attic Community Centre. We actually discussed the situation and challenges facing Bradford. One of the challenges was the streets were very dirty, and image the Bradford had a very negative.
Because we've seen the streets getting deteriorated over the time, looked like it was getting neglected.
Alleyway, it's been tidied. There's no mess at all in the alleyway. That's been tidied up. See, I need to get him to do this section here. I don't live around here, but I walk around here.
So you know everyone?
So I more or less know everybody. You can see that street, it's been done. You can tell how big it is. This area is like a dump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So much rubbish all over the place.
It started as a small group and then it snowballed into a larger group.
Now I'm pleased to say that we've got more than 2,000 people who want to be part of this campaign.
Ever since we've had this push from Bradford for Better, it's really got everybody motivated and everybody keen to come out. Makes us all feel proud of Bradford again.
Since we've started, we have not spent one penny on anything that we've done. We want to show people that you can live in a clean city, you can live on a clean street without any funds. You just have to learn to love where you live.
Because that's the only way forward. Otherwise, we're letting the city down and we're letting our own community down. And I'm happy to say that we're actually making progress.
Bradford is where I was born. Bradford is the city where my children were born. Bradford is the place where my grandchildren are born. Bradford is the place where we will continue to live. And we have to start to love Bradford. We have to start to think of Bradford as our home.
Bradford is my hometown. I was born in Bradford and it means a lot to me. To see people come out in this way to help us clean has been a joyous occasion because it really, really needs it.
It's my home. It was where I was born. My parents were born here. My grandparents were born here. My siblings were born here. It's just home.
If I turn the other way, will you follow? If I try to get away, will you let me? When I turn to you one day, will you try to make me see a different way to make this end or start?
So that was
visit arnoldclark.com.
Oh God, got that going on in the background. So that was your film for the Bradford Film Festival, Love Bradford it was called. And as soon as, I swear to God, as soon as the audience saw that drone shot, everybody just went like, I don't think we've ever seen our city from, it sounds really weird to say, but I don't think we've ever seen our city from that perspective. And just the way you shot it, it just looked so beautiful that it just hit us all square in the heart, and we were just like, Jesus Christ, who is this filmmaker? Unreal. What was your experience like working with RedBull? Did you get to meet any of the people there, or was it strictly send us your video and that's it?
No, this was very interesting. So from the RedBull video, I got involved in the breakdancing side of things. So I got to go down to London to BC1, which is a major breakdancing competition hosted by RedBull. So they invited me to the headquarters. I got to meet the people. They're like, we saw your video, it's great. what do you want to do with the breakdancing thing? So I just want to come down. I have this interest in hip hop. I would love to, capture what's going on and, maybe do a little video. And that was all going good. And they had a few events lined up. So I was going to make a video for them that, supported the events, and then lockdown hit. And I think now they're moving all the events to next year or later in the year in terms of breakdancing. But it kind of messed up what they were doing. So I was like, I'm going to leave you to it. And once you guys are sorted, I'll come back and we'll speak again. But it was a really good opportunity. But I think just making that documentary without the all of the networking around it, just the process of making it was really life changing in a way that people always say the grass is greener on the other side. I was traveling everywhere to get the footage, and this was the first time I was properly doing something like this in my own home city. And I was like, you know what? This city actually looks really good on camera.
Right.
So then I started doing more and more in this city and realizing that you can get palm trees in any tropical country, but the things we have, you can't really get them in any other city.
Oh, this is like music to my ears. I swear to God, I've been an actor for 20 years. I've been to drama school. Everyone's tried to drill the Bradfordness out of me, but I am Bradford girl. I mean, I still say the D in Bradford, so I've lost it a little bit. But I'm proper Bradford through and through. And to hear other people talk about it this way, I'm just like, oh my God, my first love. I love it. Amazing, amazing. We've got a few questions in the chat. Audience, I'm not ignoring you. I'm seeing them and I'm noting them down. We're going to ask the audience questions at the end or at the relevant points. So don't think I'm ignoring you. We got you. Just speaking quickly about the Bradford Film Festival, the Amapico Bradford Film Festival. I also met another young filmmaker called Hedda Mahboob. And we've stayed in touch as well. Love H. We've done like movie reviews together a couple of times, and we're going to keep working together in the future. But just a little bit of good news about H. So he, the last FTC chats we had Sam Frey, who works at Screen Yorkshire on the Beyond the Brontes programme. Beyond the Brontes is a programme that gets young filmmakers. Did I send it to you?
Yeah, I read it.
Cool.
Yeah.
It gets young filmmakers in the Yorkshire region. It's an initiative to try and make it a little bit more diversified. And Hedda has been lucky enough to receive a place on the new Beyond the Brontes programme. So shout outs to H. Hope it all goes well. You're going to be amazing. We're going to talk about like film techniques now, because I'm a proper geek, if you can't tell. And I love like, give me a wonderfully graded shot, like DPs. That sounds weird. Let me explain what I mean. Directors of photography, people who deal with the cinematography, like the light, not the lighting as lighting it up as such, the aesthetic of the frame. Oh my God, that is like my thing. So give me a wonderfully graded shot or a drone shot, and I'm like, yeah, whatever it is, I love it. I love it so much. So like the drone shots, tell us about that. Did you teach yourself? It's like magic to me. What's going on with it?
A drone, like the controller for the drones, it looks like a controller for a video game. So as long as you're good at video games, you're okay with flying a drone. It's no problem. It's easy.
I'm a gamer. I can do that shit. All right. Okay. Cool. Okay. So you taught yourself?
Yeah, it's not that complicated. Them remote control cars?
Yeah.
As a kid. Same dynamics. The only difference is this thing flies.
And it costs £500 more.
It costs a lot more, yeah. So definitely get the insurance.
Yeah.
Practice with it in an open field.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to, get some shots of the city like that, I'm not allowed to say, but just do what you gotta do.
Okay, so let's briefly touch on this, because this is quite interesting to me. So what we're saying, there are regulations about where they can and can't be flown and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can look up all the regulations online, and then it's in your own hands what you do with them regulations.
Understood. Well, I used to be part of a guerrilla filmmaking crew called Chicken Shop Shakespeare. I am not endorsing anything illegal at all, but I'm just saying that, you know, sometimes filmmakers have to do what they just have to do. It's one of those industries. Moving on. So I call you the king of cinematic montages, and we're gonna get there in a minute when we look at your Born in Bradford video. But in fact, no, let me show it now, because then it gives it context to what we're going to talk about next. So this next video is Born in Bradford. Do you want to introduce it? What is it? What's the context behind it and stuff?
Born in Bradford has been tracking 10,000 children for the last, I believe, 10 years, and has been tracking their health. And this one is exploring how air pollution impacts the children of Bradford.
Okay, so that's the context of the content, if you will. But I also urge you, as aspiring filmmakers or whatever, to look at the technical, because the technical of this video just fascinated me so much. And I'm going to point out all the bits that fascinated me. But I hope you agree, it's another amazing film. So let me just find it. It is called...
We're here today to clean up the...
Where are we? Born in Bradford. Okay, here we go.
You walk outside, you know, and you can't see pollution as such. It's not like a fire where it gives off smoke. It only sort of hits home, but when you have kids and they're born with illnesses.
It worries me as a parent how factors which I kind of feel are out with my control may be impacting on my children.
The evidence about the harm of air pollution is growing year by year. It seems to be something that is toxic to every organ in our body. There's very clear links between air pollution and lung disease, heart disease, dementia, also to things like diabetes, even obesity. There seems to be a link.
It's even more important to spread this knowledge and understanding to all families in Bradford so that we all feel empowered to be able to improve the health of our families.
Air pollution has been a big issue for a number of years. Even recently there was a report saying that approximately 64,000 people prematurely die every year in the UK because of poor air quality.
It's one of the biggest public health problems that we have in the UK. 100 years ago in Bradford and the other northern cities, we would see the air pollution. You could see the black smoke coming from the chimneys.
So we went to meet Munawar Raja, who has 2 young boys. One of them has got asthma.
Hello, little man again. What are you eating?
Cheese strings.
Oh, you're eating cheese strings. Do you like cheese strings?
Yeah.
And what is your favourite toy?
A car.
Car. And what is your favourite toy, Hazik?
Car.
What comes out of cars?
Cars.
Yeah.
Like most young boys and young men, I loved cars. And as soon as I qualified as a junior doctor, started buying cars and doing them up, loved them. Being part of Born in Bradford and the research that we're doing on air pollution about 7 years ago, we showed this very powerful effect of air pollution and harm to the unborn baby.
We measured the levels of air pollution round addresses where pregnant mums were living. And what we found was very, very clear links between the quality of the air and head circumference of babies and birth weight of babies. Those are very key factors for living a healthy life.
And it was a wake-up call for me about how harmful this invisible toxic exposure is to human beings and to children in particular.
Hazik was premature by a couple of weeks. He was small, he was 4 pounds 6 ounces. But then when he was 2, they diagnosed him with asthma. He starts wheezing, so if he gets a little cough or a cold, you'll be able to hear it.
Childhood is a really vulnerable period. We've been able to show that this is damaging their lives in the long term. 25% of childhood asthma in this city can be attributed to air pollution, and from car air pollution in particular.
In terms of the future, obviously it's not something that, that we can predict, but you'd like to think it'll live a normal life.
A lot of children's exposure to pollution comes during the commute to school.
We are aware of parents leaving cars idle whilst bringing children into school, in particular in the mornings during the rush hour.
Sometimes you feel as though you can be powerless about it because everybody keeps driving around still.
It's sad, but it also inspires me to help the children that live here to try and make changes that are going to improve their quality of life.
I really hope people can start noticing it more.
People understand the importance of it, but it's about how we make it as easy as possible.
If it's easier to travel actively to work than drive to work, if you're stuck in traffic jams and there's no parking spaces and you're being charged money, which you should be, for polluting the air, then people will think of alternatives. And I think as health professionals, we need to do the same. We need to be early adopters. And I sold my car. If you start cycling, you encourage other people to do the same. Start encouraging, normalising active travel. Everybody who's been involved in the research recognises that change happens at a small scale level, at a local level. You find that most people born in Bradford tend to walk or run or cycle into work now.
We need to change people's behaviour, and the easiest way to do that is through education, but also research, and then informing the community through the work of the children what they can do to improve the air quality in our area.
One of the things that we want to do is we want to improve levels of air quality in Bradford. And the reason is because, air quality, when you breathe it in, all that stuff that comes out of exhaust pipes and chimneys, it does some damage to humans. We were using air quality monitoring kit, indoor and outdoor. They could visually see what this kit was showing in terms of air quality.
That's carbon dioxide. Yeah, so that's carbon dioxide. So what do you think of the carbon dioxide levels at the moment?
Quite high.
They learn how to interpret the data, they walk them around their local schools, their local environments to find pollution hotspots.
When we had the air quality monitor in the classroom, it inspired the children to ask me if we could get some plants in our classrooms to try and help the air quality.
What do you think causes highest amount of air pollution?
Cars.
What are your hopes for air quality? What do you wish would happen?
I wish the government, it takes all gas cars really, and then gives people free electric cars.
Here are the personal, local issues for us. What do we as a community, what are we going to do about it?
The children are the future coming through, and it's going to be ultimately them that have to take on the pollution that we leave behind, and the children that we teach that are going to have to deal with the issues. So the more informed they are about those decisions, the more they can try and do something about it and trying to make the Earth a cleaner place.
I think the schools should start campaigning for better air quality. Like in London they started doing this, so why don't we start it, because we're big contributors to it.
There's an element of us using our young people to try and change the behaviour of adults within the city as well. We really want to inspire the next generations of researchers. I'm sure from Born in Bradford that we're going to have a massive increase in the amount of children and young people who want to look at science, technology, engineering and maths, because they can see there's some really exciting stuff that we can do with that.
If we can change the way they see things, we can definitely change our future.
So that was Born in Bradford. How did that video or film, come about? Did you work with, because I noticed the NHS mentioned there.
Yeah. So that one, because I was still in this rhythm of making one documentary a month before the lockdown.
God damn.
This one came after I did one about refugees in Bradford. So I have a good group of people that I know that are involved in this kind of work. And I was recommended to speak to a friend of mine called Shahid Islam, who's a senior researcher at Born in Bradford. And he said, listen, there's this issue about air pollution and it's affecting the children in the city. And he showed me the figures and everything. And I was like, okay, this has to be the next thing I talk about in my work. And then first thing we did, we went to the schools first. And I thought it would be like a one-day shoot, just film a couple of hours, throw something together and get the message out. So we filmed at the schools, and then later on Shahid mentioned, listen, you also got to get Professor John Wright in there and Rosie McKinnon in there as well, because they will be able to offer you some great, views. And back then I didn't know them, so I was like, oh, this sounds very academic now. I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
I think we got the message with the kids. I was like, you know what? Okay, let's see, because that was more work than I was anticipating. But I was like, okay, let's see where this leads to. And after I've interviewed them, and Shahid said to me, "You think you got everything?" I was like, you know what? Actually, I think we need another piece.
Drone shot.
Drone shots is a given. Any project, you gotta have the drone shots. That's the first item on the list. But the third thing I needed to capture was actually a child that was impacted by the air pollution. So that's where we met the father and his two sons. And I was like, okay, let's do some extra work to really push this message. And then it ended up being this longer form documentary. 7 minutes is kind of long for me. I'm used to like 2-3 minutes.
Right.
So 7 minutes was there was a lot to fit in.
Right.
Basically, but that's how that came about.
Yeah, I mean, to be first and foremost, I never knew our city had an issue with air pollution, because you think we're surrounded by countryside. It doesn't compute that we would be affected by air pollution. But just as a standalone film, like, I just found that film incredible technically. So this is one of the reasons I call you the king of cinematic montages. So take us. Have I mentioned what I need to mention? Yeah. So take us. This might sound weird to you, but I just want to know the process. Like, audience, if you noticed, he was cutting on the beat. Like, how do you cut on the beat? How does that happen? Like, tell me, how does this? Did you learn that or what?
If you do, at the moment I'm about to hit 100. I've done 91 music videos so far. When you do a lot of music videos, you learn to cut on the beat, because it's like a rapper rapping on the beat. You gotta do the same with the visuals, otherwise you don't flow so well.
Yeah.
So you got to do the same with the documentaries. The beat is going, the dialogue is going, and you got to match that with the visual.
Yeah.
If you stay on one shot too long, you lose it. And then you basically got to edit it in a way that the audience is not allowed to look away from the screen.
Yes. Hey, Gucci Khan, welcome to the stream. Yeah, it's like... It's like a new language almost. When I was watching it, I was like, even like, my next point is, you even like slow pan. So for audience members who don't know what a pan is when the camera goes like from one thing to another. He even slow pans when the music goes slow. And now you say about like the music videos, it makes complete sense. I'm just like, this is insane. All right, so talk us through grading. Gucci Khan saying, appreciate it's me, Yasin. The guys with the Land Rover.
Oh, shout out to Yasin. Okay, we're about to drop something really big together with Yasin. So
is Yasin a music guy, acting guy? What is
he? He does cars. He's a mechanic. He's 17 years old, and I'm telling you, he's the future of car mechanics in Bradford. So shout out Yasin.
Yasin, contact me. I'll try and get you on the show sometime. What were you going to say? Sorry.
Yasin, sort it. Marketing right there.
Yeah, damn right. What was I? Yeah, so the next technical thing I want to talk about is color grading, right? So I like I said, I'm a sucker for a beautifully graded shot. Like, I will marry a DOP with a beautifully graded shot. I don't give a shit. I'm really sorry, audience, about the Hells Angels doing whatever they're doing back there. I live on a main road. So me and my friends, I've got an anime podcast, and me and my friends were talking about the whole dark and gritty thing, how everything is now dark and gritty. Particularly if you're from the north, it has to be dark and gritty, all void of colour. What is this obsession with, like, desaturating stuff and making it what is this color, like, dark and gritty color grading situation? Tell us.
So I think that came about through movies that have like a gritty plot and a gritty color grade, and they became like really popular, and the crime shows, they became really popular, and they all have that look. And technically achieving that look is fairly simple, because when you desaturate an image, you don't have to worry about getting the skin tones right or matching particular colors with other colors. So actually getting that look is fairly easy. Just pull up the contrast, bring down the saturation, and you have a nice gritty look. Whereas the other way, when you introduce color into the image, you get into color science of it. And then you need to have the right monitors, because it looks different on each monitors. It looks different on the phone, different on the Mac, different on the TV. That's when it gets really complicated. So the first thing is the gritty look is easier to achieve than most looks.
And I guess possibly cheaper, right?
Cheaper as well. It's, you know, takes less time. That means you gotta pay the grading guy less. Boom, it's cheaper.
Interesting.
You can achieve it fairly easy with natural light. Just make sure you film in a dark location. Boom, that's sorted. And in the, I guess people assume the north is dark and gritty, but we have the same weather as London, so...
That is a lie. Audience, do not listen to this guy, right? We do not. I've lived in London off and on for 20 years. London is 10 degrees warmer at all times.
Nah. Every time I went down, it was the same for me. I was like, this is no difference. But it's okay.
And another thing I noticed about Born in Bradford is... This is what happens when you are a guerrilla filmmaker all the time. You will catch something that you never expected to catch. So did you see the guy on... Well, of course you did. You filmed it. The guy on the unicycle, the electronic unicycle... electronic... Well, I don't know what they call it. Is it a unicycle?
Maybe. I'm not sure what it's called either. But I know which guy you mean.
In London, that loads of people have got them, and you always think, all right, fuck off, wanker. But it could not be more perfect when you are speaking about like kind of air pollution, and he just went by at the right time. Unreal. Quickly talk to us about like commissions, like how some of the things that you've talked about, these people have contacted you, but like how do you go about getting commissions? Like as a filmmaker, how would you go about getting commission?
Getting commissions, I find I don't really chase them at the moment. The documentary you saw, Born in Bradford, I did that for free because I would just need to tell that story. But you know, when you do projects like that are a bit outside the box, a bit out there, and have a positive message, people will look at you and they will find you anyway. I feel like a lot of young filmmakers make the mistake that saying that, oh, if it's not paid, I'm not gonna do it. If there's no money, I will not pursue it. Young people from film school, I saw they had that kind of mentality, be like, oh, because I know how to use a camera, I should be getting paid. It's like, no, knowing the camera is okay, that's good, but you watch YouTube tutorials for a day and anyone can use a camera. It's what you do with it and how you put the narrative together and how you bring value to your client or the organization. That's what you're getting paid for. You're not getting paid for your cinematography. You're not getting paid for using a camera.
Damn.
You're getting paid for bringing value to the people that hire you, basically.
This is interesting because I've never, like, as a creative person, we're always fighting for, no, don't do anything for free. I mean, as an actor, when you start out, you know, it's inevitable you will do stuff for free because or low pay because you're starting out. But you never really hear people talk about it in terms of content creation. It's always never do anything for free. So this is quite refreshing, actually. But on the other side, like, I also understand, you know, people have got rent to pay and bills and shit. Like, I also understand that. So how do you know as a filmmaker, how do you know which projects to do for free, if at all?
If you're doing it for free, make sure you care about it, make sure you're passionate about it, and make sure you're willing to go all the way to tell this story. If you're doing it for free, doing it for free and you don't care about it, don't do it.
Right.
You do a lot of free work, but make sure it benefits your own artistic, integrity, and benefits your artistic journey and your upskilling and your learning the most.
Yeah.
If it benefits all of that and you love the story and you love creating this project, do it.
Right.
If it's a headache and it's free, then,
Yeah.
And you don't want to do it, don't do it. That's my advice.
Yeah. So this channel actually, the first 2 episodes were funded, but since then we've had like 13 or more episodes, and it's all been kind of self-funded. And you know, it shouldn't be, but it's become a passion project. And you know, you're right. If it's helping other people, then sometimes you're kind of like, yeah, well, it's one of them, innit? It's one of them. It's one of them. Don't worry, chat. I'm seeing all your comments. I will bring them up to him shortly. This is a question for filmmaking or content creation. Music. The music that you used for those videos, how did you source that? Because, obviously we can't use copyrighted stuff, so...
There's a lot of... these days we have it very easy as filmmakers. Back in the day, it was a whole different story.
He says this like he's 40-odd. He's not.
No,
back in the day.
Even like 2-3 years ago, it was difficult. Now there's a lot of websites where you can, get subscriptions for royalty-free music. So you pay one fee, and it's like all you can download music for free.
Do you want to name some
I can recommend MusicBed. I can recommend Artlist. There's also, actually these are the 2 main ones. There's also other ones that I can't think of right now. Yeah. But once you spot MusicBed and Artlist, those are the main ones that I use. And they have a great selection of music. They're fairly cheap as well. For the 1-year subscription, you pay maybe $200, $300. But that's all you can download music.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas 10 years ago, you would have to pay 50 quid per song to get a license to use it for non-commercial use. Whereas now, because it's getting easier. There's no excuse to not have good music now.
When you say non-commercial use as well, I'm just thinking of new filmmakers. Explain non-commercial use, and do you have to credit the artist or...
Yeah, so back when you had to pay 50 quid for 1 song license, non-commercial use basically means it goes on YouTube, it goes online, but you're not promoting a product, you're not promoting anything business-like. It's literally just for artistic stuff. That's non-commercial use, I guess.
Cash on Code's also saying plenty of sites out there have Creative Commons music as well. Creative Commons is, again, like a free sourcing symbol, I guess, because they're on many platforms where the artist will say this is Creative Commons, you can do this with it, but you can't do that with it, or you can do what you want with it. There's different kind of symbols. Any more comments? Yeah, okay. Somebody's saying Pish is right. London weather is basically the same. You're lying. You're both lying. You're both lying. London always has a proper summer. Where's ours been, please?
April when everyone was home.
All right, so I think we've covered the... Oh, no, I just want to... Before we move on a topic, I just want to shout out my little future socialist leader in that film saying that the government should basically give us all free electric cars. Thank you so much to that young man. I will vote for you in the next election. You are doing amazing things, honey.
Good idea. He's on it.
Yeah, proper. So general questions now. What filmmakers or films have inspired you the most?
David Fincher, Fight Club, Seven.
Fight Club? Really?
Yeah.
Tell us why.
I think Fight Club was the first movie where I watched it and I was like, yo, they're saying everything I'm thinking. So
really,
I watched it over and over again, and then after, obviously the first impression is very flashy. There's a lot of stuff going on. Guys are fighting in basements, there's guns, and I'm not going to spoil the plot or anything. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's very flashy the first time you watch it, but then the second time you watch it, you get deeper into philosophy. The 3rd time, 5th time, 10th time you watch it, you realize how things are set up and how they pay off later on. And it's like, that's the first time I watched the movie, and I realized you can put a lot of content into a short space of time. It's a 2-hour movie, don't get me wrong, but all of the things...
Well, that's short now because the movies are starting to turn up at 4 hours. And
yeah, you're getting serious now instead of movies. But then I watched it, I was like, this is so dense that all the information is all, it's all cut down to information. David Fincher is a filmmaker. All he cares about is information. You're getting information nonstop, and that's where the emotion comes from. So for me, that was quite engaging, and I went down that rabbit hole a bit. And after that, I went deep into Korean cinema.
Tell me about it. Oh my God. All right. So for those of you who have just met me tonight, and those of you who followed me for a while, you know what I'm talking about. I am so deep into K stuff, like K dramas. K dramas are new, but I've been into K horrors, Korean horrors for so long. Tell me about you. Tell me which ones are your favorites? Come on.
So my favorite Korean movie of all time is Old Boy.
I've not seen Old Boy. Mine's Memories of Murder. Memories of Murder.
Oh, that one's good. Oh
my God, Memories of Murder is one of the fucking sickest films you will ever see in your life. Tell us about Old Boy.
Old Boy, without giving the plot away again, it was so skilled. They tried to remake it and they got it all wrong.
They always fuck it up. Just leave it alone. Okay, sorry.
Don't touch it. But the way I feel like Korean filmmakers, they understand their own culture so deeply, and they really like understand the pain of what a person can go through, and they show it not in a grotesque way, but they show it quite graphically. But you're still engaged because within the pain, they always show that glimmer of sweetness, I guess. There's also a movie called A Bittersweet Life.
I've not seen
I don't know if you've seen it. It's a Korean movie. That one perfectly sums up the Korean mood for me in terms of how they approach their cinema. It's very bittersweet. And I like that duality. I'm still analyzing the movies and seeing how they do it, but I feel like the Asian cinema is a lot more skilled in terms of the Western.
Absolutely. It's not just Asian cinema. It's they approach, like you were saying, they seem to approach their emotions in a completely different way to how we do in the West. Like, it's all kind of, in the West, it's all kind of figure it out yourself, or, you know, it might be kind of, what's the word? They might plant a seed and then you need to it's all laid bare in Korean cinema, and they express themselves in a way that is instantly relatable. You don't have to figure anything out. You don't have to go jump through hoops. It's like, it's not put on a plate for you. It's not like they're not spoon feeding the audience, but it's just more open, I would say. I'm I'm with you, man. Memories of Murder is one of my favorite films of all time. So Memories of Murder was made by made by Bong, who won the Oscar for Parasite, which is also another amazing fucking film. Series recently, I just watched. Have you seen Strangers from Hell?
I haven't yet. No, not yet.
Oh my fucking God. Please watch Strangers from Hell. So Strangers from Hell is a psychological thriller. It is insane. It is insane. I love Korean cinema. Love it. So one of the questions was like favorite directors, or as a young filmmaker, who should young filmmakers be paying attention to, like to study?
To study. I'm gonna be really boring and say, first of all, watch all of the French New Wave movies that were going on in the 50s and 60s. Watch all of that. I know the plots are really boring, but
French cinema,
what they were doing back then was breaking all the rules that Hollywood had set out. They were cutting differently. They were using handheld cameras, no tripods, minimal crew, natural lighting, and they were talking about really explicit topics. And I think that should get you into the mindset like, hey, there's rules, but, you know, don't worry about them. Don't worry about the rules. Just do you. Watch them. In terms of new stuff, watch David Fincher, but also watch his movies with the director's commentary on. If you really want to learn about what went into the background of it. Watch all the movies from 1995 to 2001. That was like the golden era for me. The Matrix came out, Fight Club, American Beauty, Truman Show, Seven, Saving Private Ryan. Like all of those big movies came out in that period of time. I don't know what was going on in cinema back then, but they were killing it in the box office with, you know, popular movies that also were really artistic. So that was a good time to be alive and go to the movies.
Good time to be alive. You've got such an old soul, Pish, honestly. What's the next question? Okay, yeah. So favorite genre. I guess you've covered it really. With but what? Just spill it out for us. What's your favorite genre?
Favorite genre: crime, thriller, and drama.
What is it about crime thrillers that gets us so like? I was having this conversation with somebody else. I can't remember who it was, and women like statistically, women are really like high in watching crime thrillers and serial killer documentaries. And what is it? What do you think it is about stuff like that like we love as an audience?
I think the moment you watch a crime thriller, like after the first scene, you know exactly what you're in for. You know exactly what kind of entertainment you're gonna get, and you're all for it because it's like always the stakes are always high because it's life and death non-stop. There's playing with your expectations. You're ready for the twists. So it's like a roller coaster. It's like the roller coaster version of a movie. Yes, it is silly and can be cheap sometimes, but the roller coaster is always fun. It's no problem. You can jump on it anytime. It doesn't take a lot of deep thinking, depending on the movie, and it's just a good time.
Yeah, it's interesting because as much as we love all that, I guess you would class it as, it's not really, I mean, it is fun, but I mean, it's fun in a depressing way. It's like depressing stuff. With everything that's happened in the world just recently, like, I wonder if we're going to kind of have a massive switch back to fantasy. I'm getting right into fantasy. I mean, I love anime anyway, but like I've noticed my watching habits have become more escapism and like fantasy orientated. I wonder if that's the way we're going to go. Kaka 1977. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Shahid Islam here. Oh, Shahid Islam here. The research dude from Born in Bradford. Documentary is having such a big impact. So many people saying they had no idea about the issue. I had no idea about the issue, and I'm Bradford born and bred until your documentary came out. Also be played at the Science Festival this year. That's sick.
Oh yeah. That's that as well. Awesome. Yeah.
Science Festival. Welcome, Shahid. Thank you so much for joining the stream. So as a filmmaker, yes, but because you don't just make films, you make music videos as well. I'm thinking as a content creator overall, what would be your dream project? Like, who would you want to work with the most? Would it be a music video, a feature film? Like, what is, if money and time and anything was no object, what would it be?
My favorite hip-hop artist is Eminem, so if I could do a music video for him at some point, even if he's like 60 years old by the time I get there, so I think it would be so sick. But
Eminem, if you're watching, please. What is it about his style that inspires you so much?
The way he just wrecks the beat. You give him any beat and he just goes berserk on it. He puts in so many syllables, and then even the ad-libs are rhyming with the other ad-libs, and he just layers it so much in terms of the punchlines. Like the flow is overly on the top, but then if you're listening to the actual content, you're like, wait, rewind. And I like stuff that you can like study as well as get the entertainment while you're out of it. So I like both aspects. I think visually I could, once I'm ready for that kind of caliber, hopefully do something really cool. But in terms of movies, I always wanted to do a Star Wars movie. Like
Star Wars, interesting. How do you feel about the new stuff?
I feel like visually it looks really cool. It shows us things that we only got to see in video games. But I haven't seen The Mandalorian yet, so I still need to check that out.
Yeah, I've not seen that.
Yeah, but I feel like they should take bigger risks in terms of the story, like where they can take it, or maybe. Obviously, there's a lot of politics going on at the moment behind the scenes at Lucasfilms, about rumors and stuff like that. But we'll see. We'll see.
Star Wars.
Both ways about it.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to show, because you are a versatile and what's the word? Yeah, versatile content creator. We're going to show one of your music videos. Again, this is just one of the things that you've made. Before I forget, you need to put some of these music videos on your website, because these are like, you are really skilled at music videos, okay? So this music video is by, please pronounce our friend's name?
A friend of mine, Keist Cortez, and PD the Saint.
And the track is called Rags to Riches. So let me just pull it up here. Here we go, Rags to Riches. All filmed in Bradford, yeah?
Yeah. Let's see if people recognize the location.
I already recognise it, yeah. But yeah, Bradfordians, stand up. Tell us where we are.
I'll take this shit from the racks to the riches. I'll die for this shit, I won't tell them again. Fuck all your disses, I pray that they miss if you come at my neck or you play and pretend. They showing love, now I'm up in the club, but I know that it's fake and I pray it all ends. Oh Lord above, won't you send me your dove and stay with me as I try break bread with my friends. Sipping on the lean like all day, chilling with the bros like Cody. Oh Lord, please just hold me, praying that the demons go away. 4 9 to 5, that shit ain't right, living my life. She by my side, she down the ride, she on the high. I take this shit from the rocks to the riches. I make that Burberry baby my mistress. Sipping out burgundy, pray for forgiveness. Bounce on the pitch, but I'm still by my business. He look at me, I say, God is your witness. Next I'm misleading, they seem so suspicious. Seen in my dreams, I believe they're auspicious. I deal with demons like cleaning the dishes. Told me the same, but I think I'm the illest. Coke in my brain like I'm wishing for Christmas. Calling my name, but you sound so capricious. Bored of my ways, you could say I'm ambitious. I'm sure I should please look after your missus. Won't fuck your bitch, but she blowing me kisses. I can't contain myself, I'm so seditious. We're not the same, no, cause I go the distance. I'll take this shit from the rocks to the riches. I'll die for this shit, I won't tell them again. Fuck all your disses, I pray that they miss if you come at my neck or you play and pretend. They showing love, now I'm up in the club, but I know that it's fake and I pray it all ends. Oh Lord above, won't you send me your dove and stay with me as I try break bread with my friends. I'll take this shit from the rocks to the riches. I'll die for this shit, I won't tell them again. Fuck all your disses, I pray that they miss if you come at my neck or you play and pretend. They showing love, now I'm up in the club, but I know that it's fake and I pray it all ends. Oh Lord above, won't you send me your dove and stay with me as I try break bread with my friends.
So that was Rags to Riches by Keist Cortez featuring PD Saint. You've worked with PD Saint quite a bit, right?
Yeah,
I've seen you've
Have
done
you guys
other
heard of
music videos with PD Saint.
Yeah. Me and him go way back to my uni days. He was the one that kept me out of the lectures because I kept making videos
He
for
looks
him.
like it. Shout out to PD Saint.
PD Saint, Bolton gang represent.
Really? Is that where he's from?
Yeah, Bolton. We shot a few music videos in Bolton up there as well.
So where's this Keist guy from?
He's from down south.
No
London.
way. They look like Bradfordians.
They do. The only Bradfordian in that video is Quaid Poundsign. I don't know if you know him.
I'm a grandma. I don't know none of the kids.
Oh yeah, Quaid Poundsign, local rapper. Check him out too, but explicit content.
I'll write that down because I'm always looking for people for the showcase. Quaid Poundsign. Okay, sick. Were they drinking Magnum? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just one of the music videos. That's one of the ones that was on my mind, but that's not the one that I was thinking of. What's the one where they're basically stood on top of a fucking derelict building? Like the chimney. They're stood on the top of a chimney.
Oh, top of the chimney.
Is that yours or is that somebody else's?
One of the ones that I've done.
I'm sure it's yours. It's another drone shot. It has to be yours. It's insane. So next question, I guess, is obviously we're stuck at the minute, but what's going on with the future? What plan? What are you allowed to tell us? Any projects that are coming up or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's restrictions and stuff like that, but still everything is kind of possible. 2-meter distance is not that. 2 meters is not that, long.
You say that it is tricky as a filmmaker because we often have to be closer than you would be in normal life to fit the frame.
Yeah.
So it is tricky, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, it's not impossible. There's some shots where it's tricky, but if people are in the same bubble anyway, and they're acting together, you just as a DOP, cameraman or director, you just stand a bit further away than you usually would. It's all possible. I recently filmed in the shisha bar as well, like last week, had my mask on. But yeah, the process was the same. It wasn't too, I think since around June, July time, it's been kind of back to normal in terms of when it comes to guerrilla type filmmaking. Obviously, big productions, they have heavy health, risk assessments going on. But, as a one-man band, those type of risk assessments are more like common sense. You call up the musician or the person you're making a documentary about and say, hey, are you cool with this? You feel safe? Okay, let's do it. More like that. But I don't know if that answers your question.
No, you told us things are in the pipeline and you've not given us any juice. Is there any juice?
There's some juice. I recently filmed a documentary about the lockdown in Bradford.
Which features?
Yours truly. So I filmed 150 interviews.
Shit!
Yeah. I think you were interview number like 10, 11.
God damn.
Back then. But yeah, since then it's been 140 more people I interviewed. And I interviewed all the way up to middle of August. I interviewed people. So now I'm in the process of editing everything, and I'm hoping that by the end of this month, I will have a first rough cut ready of a 2-part kind of documentary about the lockdown in Bradford, how we reacted to it, what the community said, and really exploring some of the health inequalities between different areas, exploring representation when it comes to leadership roles in the NHS and stuff like that. So all of those things that COVID and the lockdown were able to expose, I tried to capture with my camera.
Wow.
And there's a few music videos as well, but you'll see them.
Wow, sick. And where will people be able to see the 2-part documentary?
It's going to come out on my YouTube channel, Anarchy Cinema, on YouTube. Free to watch.
That's what I was going to say. So yeah, tell us about your because you are not, people can't find your videos under, yes, you've got a website, but you are under Anarchy Cinema, right? So that's
all the YouTube stuff is Anarchy Cinema. That used to be like my production company name back in the day. Now it's just my own name because it doesn't confuse people. What you see is what you get. But in terms of the YouTube channel, because of the content I post, it's very, anarchy is at its core,
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Why? All right, so I'm having branding issues at the minute. This channel started out as a showcase for Bradford actors, and then it became like 3 different shows. So my branding's all over the place at the minute. What made you go with anarchy as a word? Because back then,
we came up with this. Was I think first year of uni. That was back in 2014. So 6 years ago now. But yeah, when I came up with the name, I wanted something different because at uni, all the lecturers were giving me a lot of rules. They were like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. You can only shoot your documentary for 1 day, only use this camera. And I was like, you know what? So I just hired a camera from somewhere else. I was like, don't worry about uni camera. I just got a camera. I filmed for 4 days. I remember this, my dad, if anyone is watching, I will deny everything this later. But my dad was driving his van and I had the door open and the tripod strapped to me and shooting out of the car. And it was a documentary about a bike rider,
Yeah.
He had an injury on his leg, but he was still riding bikes. So I was like filming him riding his bike out of this car.
That was like a Russian arm. A Russian arm basically is the name for a crane that people use to film moving cars in scenes. So you were your own Russian arm.
I was my own Russian. It was like a tiny tripod that I stuck between my legs, and I was just holding it steady while the van door is open and we're driving down this country road. And in that moment, I was thinking, if the uni knew what I was doing right now, I'm checking out.
The guerrilla filmmaking people. We do not endorse being your own Russian arm. However, guerrilla filmmaking has its own rules. Cash on Code saying, is your dad a yoga teacher? Cash on Code saying, best yoga teacher in Bradford?
Yeah, he is.
Swear down. I need to come to his class. Send me details later. 100%. Sick. I can't believe that. Madness. Yeah, I class myself as a bit of an anarchist. The stuff we had to do for Chicken Shop Shakespeare, like, I remember, because we used to modernise Shakespeare and take it to modern settings. Yeah. So people would just see like 4 or 5 black people speaking animatedly, but speaking a language they didn't instantly understand, and they used to think we were fighting. So the amount of times we've had police come in and security guards, and we're like, we're just doing Shakespeare, chill out. Yeah, awesome. Madness. So I've got a few opportunities to share with the audience before we finish, and you, in case you don't know about them. So these are for new filmmakers. So the BFI network, Film Hub, BFI network, Film Hub North have an opportunity called Scratch Me, which is a filmmaking lab for people who don't make films yet. Basically, you can work with Film Hub North and create characters and you're creating a short film, a monologue short film with a character. So that's up until, I've got the date, 29th of September. You can get involved in that. If you are in the Bradford region or want to make friends with somebody in the Bradford region to make a film, hey guys, we have a Make Film Fund that is basically offering money for a 90-second to 12-minute long short. And it can be basically anything you want. That's one thing I will say actually about our council since lockdown. Our council, for all their woes and whatever else, they have been really supportive during lockdown for creative people. Like, the amount of stuff they've been putting on for filmmakers and the creative sector has been unreal. So we do have to shout out Bradford Council for that, because they've been doing stuff that other councils just have not been.
Yeah, we had the Creative Response Fund for all the artists in the area.
Which is what birthed this channel, Creative Response.
Wow.
Yeah,
awesome.
Insane. What else have we got? We've got let me put you back on here. So if you're not from Bradford, just make friends with the Bradfordian. You can get in. Here, this is interesting. This is who is this? Who are these people? The Pitch they're called. And basically they've got a film fund with a 30 grand budget. But they're asking for creative stories based on the Bible. You can find out why they've chosen the Bible. It's quite funny. It's not to make fun of religion at all. It's just a very interesting starting point, because they think there's some very interesting stories in there. So there's that for filmmakers. And this last one is for black and brown LGBTQ plus. Let me just read it in the way they've written it. The filmmaker must be queer, transgender, intersex person of colour. So if that applies to you, they have a film fund. It's called Wahala here. So lots of stuff happening for filmmakers if that is your bag. Pish, we're coming to the end. Anything you want to say to your fans, to your people, to upcoming filmmakers?
Shout out to all the guys in the chat. They're my friends. Yasin, Kashif, Harris. Thank you for coming through. Thank you to you for having me on this chat.
Absolutely no problem. Oh no! Before you go, I need it on record. We need to create something together. So 100%. since I saw the drone shot at the Bradford and Pico Film Festival, I'm like, I need to work with this guy. I don't know what the project is yet, but we definitely need to work on a film. So I'm not allowing you to say no. You need to say yes.
Saying it. Me and my drone are ready. Let's do something. We just need a script and then we'll do it.
Yeah, I got you. All right, thank you so much for coming on. Everybody, make sure, I know some of you have already done it, but Pish's socials are in the chat. Please go follow him. You need to be on Twitter more, just so you know. Go follow him on his socials. Go subscribe to his YouTube. Again, I'm going to plug it. YouTube is free for you to subscribe, but it helps an artist out immeasurably. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, YouTube then monetizes that account. And for artists who are out of work at the minute, being able to get a few pennies from here, there, and anywhere is really, really needed. So please, all of you, go and subscribe to his YouTube account now. Go and watch his stuff, play it on repeat. We will get Pish on again to showcase his work as it comes out, and in the future. Again, thank you so much, Pish. Thank you to all the people in the chat. We will be back next week with Foot Culture Showcase, which is an arts and culture showcase. It's all Bradfordian artists and some Londoners. But you'll have actors, you'll have musicians, you'll have poets, all that good stuff from our region. So come back next week, 8 p.m. again. We love you all. How many's in chat? All right, we're going to raid somebody. Nobody leave. We are going to raid somebody. We're going to put all the hearts in the chat. Who shall we raid? Put some beautiful emotes in the chat, I beg. We're going to go raid... Let's see. Viking Trash. We're going to raid Viking Trash. Please go put some hearts in Viking Trash's chat. We love you all. Thank you so much for stopping by. We'll see you next week. Also, gaming this weekend. God bless. Good night.